Hello and welcome back to Man vs Film. As the title of this video says, this is the top 10 movies on Netflix UK for the month of June 2019. Now of course this isn't a real top 10, this is all done by me, 10 movies, put them in a kind of random order and I am going to suggest them for you to check out this month. So let's just dive right in with number 10. The Girl with All the Gifts. In a dystopian near future, humanity has been ravaged by a mysterious fungal disease. The afflicted are robbed of all free will and turned into flesh-eating hungries. Humankind's only hope is a small group of hybrid children who crave human flesh, but they retain the ability to think and feel. The children go to school at an army base in rural Britain, where they are subjected to cruel experiments. The Girl with All the Gifts was one of the best British movies of recent years, you know, and it falls into the horror genre, so it kind of gets swept under the carpet and not really talked about too much. A terrific cast head this fantastic story of a dystopian future, zombie outbreak, how will people survive type of story. They have to get from A to B without being eaten, and their only saviour is this young girl who is, yes, a zombie, but has the power to lead them to the promised land, so to speak. It has so many nice spins and turns. The lead actress is simply fantastic. She does really have all the gifts. This is horrible, it is tense, suspenseful, exciting, and a really different kind of zombie movie. If you're fed up with the usual fare, this is something different in the zombie genre to keep you interested. I hope you like this one. Number 9, Kin. A young boy finds a powerful otherworldly weapon which he uses to save his older adoptive brother from a crew of thugs. Before long, the two of them are also pursued by federal agents and a mysterious group of mercenaries aiming to reclaim their asset. Kin is a really weird kind of movie. It feels mismatched in its tone and doesn't quite meld together. Still, it's interesting enough for me to want to recommend it for you to check it out. It is about a sort of down in his luck young boy as he discovers something that's going to change his life. But it has this really strange tone. It has a young boy up against adversities in the form of James Franco's gangster-esque performance as his group chase after these people to kill them after young boy. But then it mixes in these really strong science fiction elements with this weapon that he finds, the destructive power that it has, and how it allows these people to almost kind of do what they want as they're on the run from both this weird group of mercenaries who are looking for their weapon back and James Franco's bad-ass gangster type guys who are looking for blood. It feels a lot like the pilot of a TV series, and I'd be more interested to where it was going to go than the initial setup, which feels underwhelming at parts. Still interesting enough and visually stylish to keep you entertained for its quick runtime. Number 8, The Maze Runner. Awakening in an elevator, remembering nothing of his past, Thomas emerges into a world of about 30 teenage boys, all without past memories, who have learned to survive under their own set of rules in a completely enclosed environment. With a new boy arriving every 30 days, the group has been in the glade for 3 years, trying to find a way to escape through the maze that surrounds their living space. Quite possibly one of the best young adult adaptations out there. Every now and again I catch The Maze Runner on TV or a streaming service. I'm compelled to hit play and I love the world building that comes with this movie. It's followed by 2 sequels. The second one I feel wasn't as great, but the third one really nailed the landing, so together it makes a trilogy of fantastic movies. But the best, in my opinion, is The Maze Runner, which just gives us fantastic characters, exciting set pieces, a real mystery at its heart where I was wondering where is it going to go from here, and a truly exciting ending that's just wow. This is a real great movie that you may have just zipped past because it's young adult and we've had a splurge of those kind of movies, but this is the cream of the crop for me. Number 7, Baby Driver. Baby is a young and partially hearing impaired getaway driver who can make any wild move while in motion with the right track playing. It's a critical talent he needs to survive his indentured servitude to the crime boss Doc, who values his role in this meticulously planned robberies. However, just when Baby thinks he's finally free and clear to have his own life with his new girlfriend Deborah, Doc coerces him back for one last job. Baby Driver is just infectiously fun. Very rarely have I seen a movie that is so intertwined with its score and soundtrack. It is truly part of the storytelling narrative here. It just zips along like a really fast beated song that just makes every scene sing. The performances in this are fantastic. The driving sequences are kinetic, energetic, and just hell of a lot of fun. And Baby Driver is a fantastic movie. One of my top 10 movies of the year. It came out for a very particular reason. It's simply awesome. If you missed it in the cinema or you haven't seen it as yet, this is one to get to real soon. Number 6, Shaun of the Dead. Shaun doesn't have a very good day, so he decides to turn his life around by getting his ex to take him back. But he times it for right in the middle of what may just be a zombie apocalypse. But for him, it's an opportunity to show everyone he knows how useful he is by saving them all. All he has to do is survive and save the day. Another Edgar Wright directed movie after Baby Driver, Shaun of the Dead, is simply magnificent. It is the perfect zombie apocalypse comedy romantic movie that kind of encapsulates everything, gives everything enough service, and creates fantastic characters, a fantastic story, lots of homages to other horror movies, zombie movies, well, tying it all together, and a great story with characters that you just absolutely love. I think this is a masterpiece, and I don't use that word a lot, but for Shaun of the Dead it is definitely fitting. Truly fantastic stuff. Number 5, This Is the End. All Jay wanted coming to LA was to spend time with his friend Seth and ignore all the wild partying. Unfortunately, they're taken to James Franco's housewarming party. Suddenly, the rapture hits and the biblical apocalypse has begun. Now Jay and Seth are desperately sheltering in James' house for rescue along with a few other friends. They must band together to attempt to survive the end of the world, only for Jay to find out that they're all too dumb and superficial to do it. This Is the End shouldn't work. It just shouldn't, but for some reason, for some movie magical way, it does. We have the actors portraying themselves in a very caricatured manner. We have this larger than life group of people who are literally too dumb to figure out a way to stop what is happening or to figure the way out, and they constantly antagonize each other, but they do it in such a ridiculous fun manner that it can't help but be infectious. And this is one of these movies that, like I said, it shouldn't have worked, but it really does, and it just entertains. It is riotously funny with some standout performances. Danny McBride steals almost every scene he is in, and that's a hard thing considering the company that he is here with. Number 4, Return of the Living Dead. When a bumbling pair of employees at a medical supply warehouse accidentally release a deadly gas into the air, the vapours cause the dead to reanimate as they go on a rampage through Louisville, Kentucky, seeking their favourite food, brains. Return of the Living Dead came out in the early 80s and was a real riff on the zombie movies of the sort of Dawn of the Dead era, Night of the Living Dead, those kind of movies. But it's not to say it's devoid of substance or just riffing or parodying those movies. It actually created a lot of the tropes that we get now in the zombie movies. You know, this is the first instance I can remember of a zombie muttering brains, chasing after one of its victims. And it should be said, the special effects here are gory, gruesome, fantastic and practical. My favourite kind of effects. They look terrific. They still hold up. They're weird and gory and yuck, but fun. And that's what this movie is, a hell of a lot of fun. There's not a great deal of story behind it. Don't have to be when a movie is this entertaining. Number 3, Fate of the Furious. Now that Dom and Letty are on their honeymoon and Brian and Mia have retired from the game, The rest of the crew has been exonerated. The globe-trotting team has found a semblance of normal life. But when a mysterious woman seduces Dom into the world of crime, he can't seem to escape. And a betrayal of those closest to him. They will face trials that will test him as never seen before. I'm a huge fan of the Fast and the Furious series because they are incredibly silly, but they own it. They deliver terrific action set piece after action set piece that just get bigger, brasher, bolder, and have more explosions than the one previous. It is terrifically fun. I love the additions of the cast, you know, like when it adds in The Rock. This time we get Jason Statham as part of the team as well, and some tremendously fun sequences. One of my favourite is the one with Jason Statham, a pair of headphones, a baby, and a fight scene which is terrific. And let's not forget the scene where The Rock punches a torpedo. It's that kind of movie. You have to switch off the brain, get the popcorn out, and just indulge yourself in the sheer lunacy on screen. It's incredibly fun at the same time. Number 2, The Wandering Earth. As the sun is dying out, people all around the world build giant planet thrusters to move Earth out of its orbit and sail the Earth to a new star system. Yet the 2,500 year journey comes with unexpected dangers, and in order to save humanity, a group of young people in this age of a wandering Earth fight hard for the survival of humankind. This is an Asian Roland Emmerich movie, destruction of the world, and a big rocket attached to it to make it fly through space. It seems silly, but silly is a brand I can buy into if it is done correctly. This has destruction of the world. It has men on a mission thrust together. People who would normally never hang out or never be able to work together have to come together, put their differences aside, solve their personal problems as well, and save the day. Of course, throughout this, there is going to be people who get lost by the wayside. There is going to be huge destructive scenes. There is going to be families torn apart. And this kind of delivers that. I find the movie a little hollow myself, but it is a visual spectacle, and it is kind of fun to just sit back and watch more silliness play out on screen. Number 1, Snowpiercer. Set in 2031, the entire world is frozen except for those aboard the Snowpiercer. For 17 years, the world's survivors are on a train hurtling around the globe, creating their own economy and class system. Led by Curtis, a group of lower-class citizens living in squalor at the back of the train are determined to get to the front of the train and spread the wealth around. Each section of the train holds new surprises for the group, who have to battle their way through. A revolution is underway. Quite simply, Snowpiercer had to be my number 1 movie. This movie was somehow maligned when it came out. We never really got a big cinematic release. It wasn't out on Blu-ray. It just kind of faded into the ether, which I cannot understand, because this is truly something special. Curtis is played by Chris Evans, and this is a little bit like a video game. We have this group of people at the back who are treated like crap, who have decided not to take it anymore, and they're going to get to the people at the top or the front of the train and fix that kind of divide. And each cabin they go into offers new challenges. There is crazy fight scenes, destructive sequences as these people try to survive, try to better their living situation. It has a lot of social context. It has some terrific action set pieces, and this is exciting, fun, and one of these movies that you may just never have heard of. This is an absolute cracker of a movie, which is why it's my number 1 for this month. Get it watched. Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. So there we have it, 10 fantastic movies for you to check out this month. I hope you find something there that you want to watch, or something that sparks a little bit of interest within you. If there's something that I've missed off my list, should there be something that you want to recommend to me, let me know in the comment box below. And don't forget, subscribe. It does good things, puts positivity out in the world, good karma, all that stuff. Like this video as well, and I will see you next time on Man vs. Film.